In this chapter, we look at 100 film trivia facts. 1. The Wizard of Oz, 1939, was one of the first major films to use Technicolor extensively, making Oz's colourful world unforgettable. 2. The famous shower scene in Psycho, 1960, contains over 70 camera setups, but lasts less than a minute. 3. Titanic, 1997, was the first film to earn over $1 billion at the worldwide box office. 4. Avatar, 2009, pioneered new performance capture techniques that changed modern filmmaking. 5. The roar of Jurassic Park's T-Rex was created by blending sounds from dogs, elephants, tigers, and alligators. 6. The Godfather's horse head was real and came from a pet food supplier. 7. Star Wars 1977 almost featured a very different cast before the iconic actors were selected. 8. The Lord of the Rings trilogy was filmed almost entirely in New Zealand over several years. 9. Toy Story 1995 was the first fully computer animated feature film. 10. The DeLorean in Back to the Future was originally going to be a refrigerator. 11. Alfred Hitchcock made cameo appearances in 39 of his films. 12. Jaws' mechanical shark malfunctioned so often that Steven Spielberg showed it less, increasing suspense. 13. The snow in The Shining's hedge maze finale was made from salt and crushed foam. 14. Rocky was filmed in just 28 days on a modest budget. 15. The Matrix popularized the bullet time visual effect. 16. Casablanca's ending was kept secret from much of the cast during filming. 17. E.T. the Extraterrestrial was filmed mostly in chronological order to help the child actors. 18. Frozen's Let It Go inspired major story changes during production. 19. The lightsaber sound in Star Wars came from mixing projector and television hums. 20. Forrest Gump used groundbreaking digital effects to place its hero into historical footage. 21. King Kong 1933 revolutionized stop-motion animation. 22. The Blair Witch Project was marketed as if the footage were real. 23. The Dark Knight featured a real semi-truck flip with minimal CGI. 24. Mad Max Fury Road used hundreds of practical vehicle stunts. 25. The Lion King, 1994, was originally expected to be less successful than Pocahontas. 26. The chestbuster scene in Alien shocked many actors because they didn't know how dramatic it would be. 27. Finding Nemo caused a surge in clownfish ownership. 28. Shrek originally had a different voice before Mike Myers re-recorded it with a Scottish accent. 29. The boulder in Raiders of the Lost Ark weighed over 300 pounds. 30. Die Hard made Bruce Willis a major action star. 31. The Silence of the Lambs won the Big Five Academy Awards. 32. Ben-Hur, 1959, won 11 Academy Awards, tying a long-standing record. 33. The Return of the King also won all 11 Oscars for which it was nominated. 34. The Shape of Water won Best Picture despite being a fantasy romance. 35. Gone with the Wind remains one of the highest grossing films when adjusted for inflation. 36. Harry Potter's Hogwarts Great Hall was inspired by historic English architecture. 37. Pirates of the Caribbean was based on a theme park ride. 38. The Sound of Music remains one of the most beloved movie musicals. 39. Grease became one of the highest grossing musicals ever. 40. The Exorcist was the first horror film nominated for Best Picture. 41. Black Panther became the first superhero film nominated for Best Picture. 42. Parasite became the first non-English language film to win Best Picture. 43. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once won 7 Academy Awards. 44. No Country for Old Men features surprisingly little musical score. 45. 2001, A Space Odyssey used innovative practical effects that still impress audiences. 46. The Social Network's Rowing Race used advanced digital compositing. 47. Inception built rotating hallway sets instead of relying entirely on CGI. 48. Interstellar worked with physicists to create realistic black hole visuals. 49. The Truman Show anticipated the rise of reality television. 50. Up's opening montage is considered one of Pixar's most emotional sequences. 51. Coco consulted Mexican artists and historians for authenticity. 52. Moana involved Pacific Island cultural advisors throughout production. 53. Inside Out was inspired by emotional psychology. 54. Wall-E tells much of its story with very little dialogue. 55. The Iron Giant underperformed in theatres but later became a cult classic. 56. Spirited Away became the first hand-drawn animated film to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. 57. Your Name became one of Japan's biggest animated hits. 58. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse introduced a groundbreaking comic book-inspired visual style. 59. Who Framed Roger Rabbit combined live action and animation in revolutionary ways. 60. The Princess Bride has developed a massive cult following over the decades. 61. Napoleon Dynamite was filmed on a very small budget. 62. Clark's was largely financed using credit cards. 63. El Mariachi was famously made for around $7,000. 64. The Evil Dead helped launch Sam Raimi's directing career. 65. Halloween 1978 was produced on a very modest budget but became hugely influential. 66. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was inspired in part by real-life crimes. 67. A Quiet Place relies heavily on silence to create tension. 68. The Sixth Sense was kept secret through strict script security. 69. Knives Out revived interest in classic mystery films. 70. The Grand Budapest Hotel used several miniature models. 71. Amélie helped popularize modern French cinema internationally. 72. Cinema Paradiso celebrates the magic of movie theaters. 73. La La Land opens with a spectacular freeway musical number. 74. Whiplash expanded from an award-winning short film. 75. The Hurt Locker became the first Best Picture winner directed by a woman. 76. Slumdog Millionaire won 8 Academy Awards. 77. Life of Pi blended practical filmmaking with advanced visual effects. 78. Gravity required innovative virtual lighting technology. 79. The Revenant was filmed primarily using natural light. 80. 1917 creates the illusion of one continuous shot. 81. Birdman also uses seamless editing to appear as one take. 82. Children of Men contains several extraordinarily long, uninterrupted shots. 83. Rope, 1948, was designed to resemble a single continuous take. 84. Dunkirk tells its story across 3 different timelines. 85. Memento unfolds its main narrative in reverse order. 86. Pulp Fiction popularized non-linear storytelling for mainstream audiences. 87. Citizen Kane is famous for its deep focus cinematography. 88. Lawrence of Arabia was filmed on breathtaking desert locations. 89. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly features one of cinema's most iconic musical scores. 90. Singin' in the Rain's famous dance scene reportedly required days of filming. 91. The Breakfast Club takes place almost entirely in one location. 92. Groundhog Day inspired the phrase Groundhog Day to describe repeating events. 93. The Big Lebowski has inspired annual fan festivals worldwide. 94. Mean Girls introduced numerous quotes that became pop culture staples. 95. Home Alone's house became one of the most recognizable homes in film history. 96. The Terminator was written after James Cameron reportedly dreamed of a robotic skeleton emerging from fire. 97. Indiana Jones was named after George Lucas's dog. 98. The clapperboard is used to synchronize picture and sound during editing. 99. The Academy Awards are commonly known as the Oscars. 100. The longest-running film franchises have entertained audiences for decades, proving that memorable stories can span generations.